All right, hello, my lovely friends. It is now the evening, the witching hour, which is weird to be making a video when it is dark and nighttime. But this is the time that I usually set my hair, and I know that I have been being asked really as long as I've been blogging, which is for over 10 years now, to do a video or a tutorial about how I set my hair. So that is what we are going to be attempting today. So I do usually set my hair on Sunday nights unless there is some other timing reason that I might set it some other time. And I am going to take you into the bathroom with me where I do my hair. The thing that you need to know about my bathroom is that the fan is connected to the light. So there is no way for me to have the light on and not have the fan on, which obviously means that I will not be able to speak and chat with all of you because you are just going to be hearing the whirring of the fan. So I am going to plan to do a voiceover for that. So wish me luck there. But I am going to kind of take you through the process and then, of course, jump in the morning and cross our fingers that everything worked out well and that we have some lovely curls. This is the first time that I have washed and air dried my hair since it got cut. So I have been setting my hair, like I said, for over 10 years now. Up until this year, I have been getting a midi cut, which is a vintage cut that is a U shape, so it's short layers going to longer in the back that then accommodates the curl of the hair. But I did actually switch just this year to doing more of a kind of equal bob around, just because I have a lot of issues with being warm and overheated, and the back of my neck really tends to get sweaty, and then sometimes enough that it unsets my hair in the back because it gets damp. That was one of the questions that I got. I probably won't ever grow my hair much longer than this just because it does really overheat me. And I like it kind of framing my face at this point. And obviously the longer that your hair is, the more difficult it is to get that curl because it's heavier. So I do tend to prefer a little bit more of that kind of 50s bouncy curl. So that is what we're going to be going for tonight. So wish me luck. I'll try and get you all situated in the other room and we'll give it a shot. I'll see you there. All right, welcome everyone to VoiceOver Land, where the audio hopefully is better than it would have been otherwise. So as you can see here, I am setting my hair with beer. So there are a lot of options for what you might want to use to set your hair. I struggle a lot just because my hair is very thin, as you will see, which means it gets very easily weighed down by any product. So I use just a little bit of beer in water, like just kind of, I showed you on the thing, 1 part beer to maybe like 2 parts water. And I just run that through my hair with my fingers. And you are definitely going to see in this video how thin my hair is. It definitely has thinned out even further as I've gotten older. And that's just kind of the way of it. So as you can see, I always start with my bangs portion. And what I am doing lately is just kind of a basic pin curl set. So I have used pillow rollers in the past. I find that I get almost too tight of a curl with those. And so doing it kind of by hand gives me a little bit more control over what I'm doing. And I am just trying here to make sure I tuck in the ends and get that curl all the way through, although that does not always happen. I do end up with some funky ends sometimes, but that's just kind of the way that it goes. There are definitely pin curl and set patterns that you can follow, and I have never really bothered with any of those. I just kind of take little chunks and roll everything downwards. I'm not doing anything too complex. It all kind of comes out in the end. You can use things like Lotta Body, I know is a very popular setting lotion. Otherwise, I know some people make their own setting lotions from flaxseed, which I have considered doing, but the beer works pretty well for me. I do have a, a hookup for free beer for my hair, so that is a nice bonus. But like I said, I use so little of it that you really are not having too much trouble with. It's not expensive or anything. One can or one bottle will last a long time. I just keep it covered in the fridge in between uses, and I do sometimes have to tell people who visit my house not to drink that because it is beer for my hair. And you can see through here, just kind of moving through as we go, trying to keep a similar amount of tension all the way through, but just putting those curls in there, and we will go until we have the whole head. The back is definitely a little bit of a struggle. I never see the back of my head. Watching in this video was the first time in a long time that I had really seen what the back of my set looks like, and you'll see I do miss a little bit of like the hair at the nape of my neck. It's not a huge deal. That does tend to get covered up by the rest of the curl once it's set. But I just kind of do my best, and it's always my opinion that what's happening on the back of my head is none of my business. If I can't see it, then that's all that we got. You don't tell me if it looks bad back there, because I do not need to know. But once I have everything on, I pop on a bonnet, tie that on. I have used everything from vintage scarves to t-shirts before. I'm just trying to protect the hair from getting rubbed against the pillowcase. But a nice bonnet like this will do you a lot of good. I know that a lot of folks, even who don't curl their hair, find that they get less breakage, less damage if they're wearing a bonnet. Suffice to say, it's no shock that Black women know how to take care of hair, so I follow their lead. They know what's up. Good morning, everyone. This is what I look like when I've just woken up. So welcome to my face. So we are going to take this set down and see how it turned out. This is kind of the drama, the drama and excitement of the wet set, is you do not know if it worked out. Obviously, I do it pretty much the same thing every time, but sometimes the hair is gonna hair how it wants to. So looks like we're still pretty well put together. This is also something that I would normally do in my bathroom, but I wanted to be able to chat with you and tell you what is up and how we are doing. So just start, obviously, taking these out. I do keep my bobby pins in this adorable little coffin resin container that I got years ago at an Oddities and Curiosities Expo. And I do normally do as many in kind of one go as I can, because ain't nobody got time for removing bobby pins one at a time. So I'm just kind of plucking all of these out here. I was about to ask how you've been, how you slept, but this is all happening in one go for you. I slept pretty well. I had some dreams. I'm always having dreams, but nothing too dramatic. It is not quite so miserably hot, which is nice. I mean, I have the air conditioning on, but on some of those hot days, it just cannot handle, since I'm on the upper story in a historic house. So yeah, once I get my bobby pins out, I just start by loosely breaking up these curls. And this is also I often find a couple left in here that I missed. This is my first full set on this hair since I have washed it, which is always going to be the kind of tightest set a lot of the times. So once I'm breaking things up, looking properly crazy, I just start brushing through there. So some people definitely have a much more elaborate brush out than I do. I mean, if you do a lot of like teasing at the root, that's really going to give you kind of a more like styled vintage look. But I am really all about kind of doing things as quickly as possible. You know, I'm putting some time into it, but I don't want to be spending forever on it. So that does mean that I'm a little bit flatter up top, but I'm also, you know, I'm not doing anything today. I'm just going for like my average everyday kind of look. You're probably going to want to hold on to the hair as you're brushing it through, and just really don't worry about giving it a good brushing, because that's really what is going to make all those curls kind of come together for you. I watched a little bit of the footage back just to make sure that I like recorded properly yesterday. So that was kind of fun to see myself from that perspective. It's definitely not my most glamorous moments, but I'm sure you still believe that I'm a glamour ghoul. It takes work to get there, and you can definitely see that things do kind of start to fall in place. I will sometimes brush up just to get some of that body coming back in here. And honestly, I really like to brush my hair kind of like a first go, and then before I'm like actually going somewhere, I kind of give it another zhuzh to kind of shape it, because that gives it a chance to rest a little bit from when it was down. I do like to take my bang section and give that its own kind of brushing and let it lay down there. You can see it'll kind of do its little thing, and that does allow me to put, you know, a tease in there if I'm trying to go for more of a dramatic swoop. It looks like we got a little bit of funkiness. This is the side that I sleep on, so I do sometimes have curls that get kind of crushed or wonky during the night, but that's how it goes. That's the life. I am gonna give this a little extra zhuzhing, I think, and there we go. That's helping out a little bit. We take a little bit of a bigger chunk, give it just a little swoosh whoosh, and then we're in. There we go. I'm leaning around the camera to look, because I can see the phone is like directly in front of my face, so I can see my hair on either side. I look like I'm a little phone face girl to my own perspective, but obviously that's not what you're seeing. But yeah, this is about where I would stop for just kind of like today I'm, working from home. I'm going to be going to visit a friend later. So I would definitely kind of zhuzh things up a bit before I'm actually going out. But this is about where I would leave my hair for kind of a lazy day at home. You can definitely, it's been, well, and now, see, I'm also doing this before I do the voiceover for the other bit, so I don't know what all I'm gonna say in there, but I think we're doing okay. Yeah, these are being a little bit picky with me today, but that's always the part that requires kind of the most babysitting. I just leave it off to the side there, leaning in, looking at different angles. Yeah, nope, see, I messed it all up again. And that's really just, that's kind of how the process goes. You have to go over them a bit, see how it's going to lay, see what it wants to do, and see how we can go. So I think, no, I want to put some. Yeah, I'm definitely happier with this side today. Didn't get as kind of nice of a set on these bangs as I would hope, but I mean, honestly, that's just kind of how it goes. And it will kind of adjust as the week goes because as I'm putting, product or dry shampoo in my hair, it starts to kind of hold its form a little bit better. So the first day, a lot of the times I prefer like the second day of the set is kind of like my ideal day. So there's some time for adjusting, but I think this is going to be good for now. It is a regular Monday morning. I'll put my glasses back on so I can see it. I can see you. But yes, I hope that this was helpful just to kind of see my everyday hair routine. I do reset it every night, usually into slightly larger sections than I do that first night. But I find because my hair is so thin that is really the only way that I can keep any shape to it. And it is not a huge deal re-rolling it since it is like kind of already wants to go into the shape. It doesn't take too long. I listen to a podcast, put my hair up, and it's kind of a wind down for bed for me, so it's kind of nice. But that is what we've got today. I hope that this was helpful for you. I've dispelled the mystique, and this is how I do my hair. If you enjoyed the video, I hope that you consider liking, subscribing, commenting, sticking around. I am planning to continue to do more of these types of style videos, I have had a request, I don't know if you can see on the camera, for a hat tour, so that is definitely something that may be coming up on this channel. Otherwise, I'm always happy to hear your requests and suggestions. A big thank you to everyone on Patreon who supports me. I'm going to be filming a video after this that'll go on Patreon, but I'm not sure if it'll be on Patreon before this video goes up. Who knows? I'm living in crazy YouTube time now. But you can see additional content there. But otherwise, I'd love to have you here. And you can always see me on Instagram if you want kind of a up-to-date on what I'm doing. And that is where I've been posting things like questions, where I got hair questions, ideas. So you can definitely find me there. There's a link below. And until next time, have a lovely day, and I'll see you later. Bye.